Maggie Boyson on deck.
On course.
Let's get loud for Maggie Boyson.
First American competitor to win ski slopestyle gold here, by the way.
On the bubble for the Olympic team standing, so this is a big run in Maggie's career.
Climate change is 100% affecting our sport.
Maggie Boyson with a big run right where she needed it.
I started skiing when I was 3 years old, and I've been skiing Big Mountain for 20 years. I come from a ski family. My dad's a ski bum, so, skiing is in my blood. I was born to do it. I couldn't imagine my life any other way. I wouldn't know who I am without it. I'm 23 years old, and I've been fortunate enough to compete at 3 Winter Olympic Games. Skiing's my life. I hope to keep skiing, but the sad reality is that the 3 Winter Olympic sites that I've competed at won't be able to host another Winter Olympics by the end of the century.
Whitebark pine has become a very important species in the last 10-15 years of my career because it was realized that that species has a critical role in the high elevation habitats and high elevation ecosystems here around the Flathead National Forest.
Whitebark pine is known as a keystone species or a foundation species, and the reason is because if you remove it from the landscape, you remove abundant other species, both plant, animal, insects, and so on, that depend on whitebark.
Snow retention is a really important factor for a ski area, and if we lose the whitebark pine,
we not only lose the sport that we love, but we also lose an ecosystem that we love.
The repeat photography project was actually very useful for our research project. When you finally navigate your way through the wilderness and come over a ridge and look down on a glacier basin, and you're holding a photo from 50 or 60 or 100 years ago, it's pretty startling. It doesn't look like the same place. I think the takeaway from a lot of our research is no, things can change, they are changing, and it didn't take as much climate change to do that as we would have thought.
The Flathead National Forest has worked with the Whitefish Mountain Resort, is a great partner in trying to promote whitebark pine. We've worked with the resort on getting the ski resort as a certified ski area that promotes whitebark pine restoration efforts. Just this last year, we planted a 2-acre piece of ground just northwest of Summit House.
Well, in 2018, we adopted the Climate Action Plan, and first and foremost, it was to ensure that this town is and remains resilient to a changing climate.
75 years in the future, winter will be very, very different here unless we take pretty immediate and pretty serious action. A recent study in global environmental change looked at ski areas all across the country, and many of them lost 50 to 80% of their ski days. In a particular scenario that should apply largely to Whitefish Mountain Resort, they currently have about 128 operating days. Unfortunately, under the dire scenario, by 2050, they would only have 56 days a year, less than half of what they have now. By 2090, they would only have 14.
It's heartbreaking, and it's happening. And I really hope that people are opening up their eyes to what's happening because it's obvious and it's here, and we need to make a change. Skiing with the younger generation and young kids is one of my favorite things in the entire world. They just look at a world in a whole different light, from a brighter lens, and then you follow them down a mountain and everything is fun. They're just hooting and hollering, and it brings me back to my true self and my roots and how I grew up and how much I love skiing and why I started skiing. Experiencing winter has made me who I am. And I can't imagine a world where future generations wouldn't get to experience that. We won't be perfect, but we have to try. Protect our winters.